I've always had, like, from apprentice, I spent every cent I had on doing up cars, right?
Yeah.
Way too much money. And then when I got to...
So that's a pretty common theme with pretty much everyone I know. Yep.
Yep, it's bad. So then me and a mate of mine were making these stands. So I was marketing and selling them, and he'd make them if I wasn't there. I'd come home, we'd make them together. And we used to just pull all the cash together, and then we'd use that to go on Morton Island and go on holidays and just go wheeling holidays, right?
The Outerside podcast is proudly supported by Tyre Gear, Dog and Gun Coffee, and Tough Dog. To keep your adventure secured, head to tyregear.com to check out their awesome range of quality camping accessories, including guy ropes, screw-in tent pegs, tie downs, and heaps more. Just because you're off-grid doesn't mean you have to drink bad coffee. Check out dogandguncoffee.com to grab yourself some bloody good coffee ready for adventure. If you're looking to upgrade your four-wheel drive suspension, go to toughdog.com.au. With over 40 years of R&D, real-world testing, and refinement, Tough Dog is a trusted name in the global 4x4 community.
G'day and welcome to the Outerside. I'm Tony, and in this episode, I'm joined by James, the owner of Pirate Camco. Welcome to the show, mate.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having us.
Well, thank you for providing this splendid location. It's actually really nice.
It's not bad, eh?
No one can see the splendid location. All I can see is a purple Land Cruiser, and we'll talk more about that shortly. We're going to start with the Fast Five. I'm going to ask you five questions. You just answer with the first thing that comes to mind. With an unlimited budget, what is your ultimate vehicle build?
Oh, dude, got to be a Jimny.
Unlimited budget, dude.
Unlimited budget?
You can build anything in the world. Is it still a Jimny?
Look, my unlimited budget, it would be something small. It'd have to be like Jimny or the K-Truck we're on now.
Yep.
But it's got to be small and fun. Like these big builds, like the 80s are cool, the stuff you guys do, but I'm like, it's got to be something small and
So you're not like an F550 guy. You're like a K-Truck guy.
Yeah, I'm like 100 grand in a K-Truck, and we're
I love that. What's your favourite place in Australia?
Dude, to be honest, if we go beach, it's Morton, because it's still so peaceful.
Yeah.
But if we go north, Arnhem Land.
Ooh, I
Yeah.
haven't done Arnhem Land.
I haven't really camped there much,
Yeah.
but I worked there for years.
Ah.
So I spent a lot of time working up there, so we did a lot of fishing up there, a lot of hanging around. It's just an all-round top place. Even just getting the beers there, the locals.
It's on the bucket list for sure, mate.
Yeah.
What is the worst car you've ever driven?
It's embarrassing. I used to own a Triton.
Oh, that's
But it was actually, no, I lie. I had the 3.2, the 08, it was pretty good, but then I had a 2015 MQ,
Yeah.
2.5 litre, and it left me on the side of the road when it was brand new more times than it drove, I reckon.
Really?
Yeah,
So
it was-
the reputation is deserved.
Yep, proceeds.
Love it. Favourite band or music artist?
There's a few. Probably Limp Bizkit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Anything that's not country. Because
Yeah.
so many of my guests are like, I just love country music. And I'm like, okay then.
I've got into country a little bit lately,
Oh,
but
God.
I'm still Limp Bizkit.
No,
like,
it's Limp
still
Bizkit.
alternative
Let's just
punk.
pretend you didn't say that and we'll go with the first answer. What would you eat for your last meal?
Oh, dude, it'd have to be a steak, like a tomahawk or something. Yeah. And broccoli. I love broccoli.
Really?
Oh, the best.
Are we talking broccolini or the conventional, traditional broccoli?
I like broccolini for a treat, but I still would just smash broccoli all the time.
Really?
I have it
Yeah.
like nearly every night of the week.
I ate so much of that when I was training that I just don't want to even look at it,
True. Nah, I like it.
Yeah, okay, good answers. Well, mate, I'm excited to sit down and have a chat to you. You've been on my list of victims for a little while now, so it's a good thing. Now, a lot of people would know you from Pirate Camco, but let's go right back. What started this whole... I think it's fair to call it an obsession with you, with four-wheel drives and the outdoors in general. Where did it start? Were you doing that when you were a kid?
So when I was a kid, I was born here in Ipswich.
Yeah.
And then my old boy was into RAF, so we moved to, when I was about 4 or 5, we moved up to Northern Territory to Katherine.
Yeah.
So that's where I first experienced Nullarbor and all Arnhem Land.
Yeah.
And I was up there for like in the 90s until I was 10, 11. So that was always where outdoorsy was. My old boy obviously being in the defence, and he liked guns and everything as well. So we sort of did a lot more camping and stuff early on. Then it changed a bit in my adolescent years, and we come back to here. But then when it kind of all sort of went away. But when I reckon I was 23, I think. Mate of mine, Brendan, I call him Little Brendan. Good dude, little sausage fingers. No, so I call him sausage fingers. If he watches this, he's like,
That's all right.
Damn you. Yeah, so he had a GU Patrol of all things
Yeah.
in a ute, And I was like, man, this thing's sick. And like at the time, I was like into Jap cars still and drifting. And then he had this GU Patrol and he had jacked it up, had all the Superior gear. And I had no idea who Superior were at this time, any of them. He had all this gear and radio subs, things I knew nothing about. And then he was going through, doing more power to it, boosting all these things. And I'm like, and I was just like, oh yeah. And then because he was always had that, and he had a little Sierra, which was sick, by the way. It was he had like a stock one with the 1.3 carby, and then he brought this other one with like a 12 valve, whatever those GDI motors are.
Yeah. That's pretty common, eh?
Yeah. It was pretty cool. And then that GU, I brought a Vitara as my first one. Suzuki Vitara, like a 1996, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was a 4-cylinder, 2.4 litre or something. Worst car. I should have said that was the worst car.
Yeah, I was going to say the poor Triton.
45 litres that thing had as a tank.
Oh, yeah.
And I was lucky to get 180 Ks out of it. And it was just terrible, but I put like a 2-inch lift in it, 31-inch Maxxis big arms.
Oh, that would have improved the fuel economy.
Oh, yeah, it was terrible.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, and I thought I was the coolest. I thought I was a Mad Dog. I had like the soft Torno on it. And I was like, yeah, I'm a Mad Dog here. And anyway, so we went out wheeling one time. And it was terrible. Like it was so rough and shit, but I was having a good time, whatever. And then I jumped in his GU Patrol. I was kind of keen, but not keen because I was like, it's rough, this thing. Jumped in his GU Patrol. He sent it across this like huge wild, it was like a big mud run, but it was heaps off cambered ruts and that. Didn't even feel them.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, this is sick. And then I brought that Triton after that. I kind of started getting into it then. And it was more of a, when I come home, so I was working away at the time, so I did a lot of construction, FIFO work, gas work, whatever. And when I'd come home after my 4 or 5 weeks away, I'd get a week off and I'd try and go camping and stuff. And then we had this Triton, which was sick, and then we're using that. And then I got another Triton, and then I started my welding business. I kept camping in my spare time. And then in 21, I've always had, like from apprentice, I spent every cent I had on doing up cars, right?
Yeah.
Way too much money. And then when I got to...
So that's a pretty common theme with pretty much everyone I know. Yep.
Yep, it's bad. And I like, but I didn't care, like that's why I live.
Yep.
And so you fast forward through them years, I was just camping and moving along from there. And then I got to like, I think it was 2021, and my fabrication business and my laser business, I didn't have laser at the time, it was sort of taking off. And what I've always wanted is a 79 series Land Cruiser, right? That's been the one. I don't know why, I just always wanted one. I was like, I've got to get one. And I thought I'd probably never get one because they're quite expensive, right? And then finally it got to a point I was like, yes, I reckon I can afford one now. So my buddy went and brought one, got one. I think it was 10, 11 month order. Obviously first thing I did, now I never had a solid axle car ever. And at that time, I had no real, I liked four-wheel driving, but I used to just bash it, which I still bash the cars around, but I used to just bash them up, everything. I had no idea about travel or any of that. I was just like, big wheels, height, looks sick, whatever, and we can go out in the tracks and have a good time. And that was kind of my thing. And then I brought this cruiser, rang up Superior, yo, I want to get the Outback Tourer kit, blah, blah, blah. Got that organised, and then 4-inch 35s, whatever it was, but I didn't get the coils because I was too poor. And I got the leafs and everything. And then I built that car. But what I noticed was that after I got it, I started ordering all these other parts. I ordered custom headlights, I ordered bonnet struts, and like all these other random bits for it. And I had people doing work on it, like a local shop down here, or just a 4-wheel drive shop. You know, they worked on it and they were just tech screwing things through the floor. And I'm like, I had someone else do a stereo and just punching holes in the back wall. I was like, man, like, it may just be another car to them, but for me, it was like my dream car. And it was also, you know, at the end of the day, at the time, I think they're 80 grand to buy, but by the time you're done with it and everything I did, you know, it's $180,000. And these people you're paying dumb money to were just like, tech screw here, tech screw there. It even got to the point where under the bonnet, right, they wire in like spotlights, for example, and you've got your relay. 20 mil from the relay, there's a hole or a bolt there, you just pull the bolt up, put the relay in, just put a tech screw in. And I'm like, what is going on here? And it blew my mind of how rough they were and didn't care about people's vehicles. And then I was buying these other products I was saying, like the headlights and bonnet struts, and go to put them in and they didn't fit properly. Instructions were terrible. And, you know, and I was just like, I remember getting this bonnet strut kit. And I'm like, oh yeah, cool, I'll get bonnet struts. Because once I did that left, man, I'm short. I couldn't get the bonnet up. And I'm like, God damn. So they'll get bonnet struts. Go to put them in, the biggest pile of crap I've ever seen. And I was like, this is terrible. And I had my laser business at this time by the time I got the car. And I was like, this is terrible. And then I was trying to figure out how to put them in, and there was no instructions. I was trying to go on the photos in the webpage, there was nothing, it was crap. So anyways, I ended up throwing them in the bin. I was like, these are threw them in the bin and dealt with it. And then a few more things went on when I was trying to do things to the car. And I just realized how poorly people do products. A lot of people out there are doing it for the money. They're like, Howie, I want money.
Not for the love.
Not for the love, not for a good quality product. And I was like, bro, we can do something better. And then that's kind of where we went, you know what I mean? We just went to this realm where it's like, we can do better here. I can do way better. And I started getting the right people involved, and we started designing, and yeah.
That's so good,
kind of covered
man.
2 topics, sorry, man.
No, this is good, man. I love it. And this is a non-linear show, so you can just talk about whatever you want. And I get excited about things, and we go on deep tangents.
Oh, perfect.
You're in good company. I just want to stop there, though. Growing up in Katherine, or spending time as a youngster in Katherine, that must have been incredible. Like, just freedom, right? Because it's a different world out there.
Yeah.
And I was only in Katherine maybe 6 weeks ago, and it's still a different world out there.
Yeah. It's I haven't been back there since. I want to go back soon, but like Katherine was, because I lived at Tyndall on the RAF base, and Katherine was, I got so many memories there. I got so many memories of like, I don't know if we can put this bit on, but I'll say it and you can cut it out, it's bad. So I got so many memories of black fellas up there, you know, getting out of control, beating each other, fence palings and shit. When I was a kid, like, whoa, and me being young, like I was like, whoa, and it'd be like just in the main street. But so many good memories as well, because there was so many, like, on the same topic of black fellas, they have communities out there you could go and see, and like learn how to light fires with sticks. Don't ask me, because I couldn't do it now. I don't even know what wood they use, but you know what I mean? They do all that stuff. And like, we used to travel from Tyndall to Katherine every day for school and everything, and race BMX there, and like, I think it was like maybe 20-minute, half an hour drive. But like me old boy, he was in the archery club, I think, and we used to go fishing down the back there, go into Katherine Gorge, and like a lot of people haven't been around crocs, aren't very croc-wise, but we were swimming in all the rivers up there, but there were rivers that you knew, you know what I mean? So it was like, there'll be freshwater crocs, but not salties and things like that. And like, but it was sick. Like, you could go and do it, but so many people don't think understand the freedom there. Like my memories were like, there's nothing that held you back. I remember when we were moving, my parents said to us, they're like, look, we're moving in a couple of months. Now, we're moving to Sydney, actually, Richmond. And they're like, look, it's not the same.
There's laws in New South Wales.
Yeah. They're like, we're not going to be able to leave the doors unlocked, you know, because you leave the doors unlocked, that didn't matter. Nobody got robbed, it was just the way it was. And it's like, you're not going to be able to freely just run out in the street and see people and whatever, you know, you've got to be a bit smarter. And I was like, oh, what is this place? Like, I was thinking to myself, because...
Why are we going there?
Yeah, I'm like, what are we doing, man? And then...
The territory is still, for me, like the last frontier of Australia. It's like the freedom up there. The cops are laid back. Everyone's like pretty chill. And yeah, you know, you mentioned the Indigenous problems, but then for everyone that there's a problem, there's some really good people doing good things. And so I think, and it's the same as here, right? Like, regardless of the colour of skin, there's good and bad people everywhere across Australia, right? 100%. But for me, the territory is just still wild, and it's freedom. And you can just kind of get amongst it. It's good.
I went back up there in I was there in like 2008 for a bit when I was at Nullin Boy again at Arnhem, and all through 2008, 9 and that. But then I went back up, I went to a spot called Jabberoo, you know, Jabberoo Kales Crossing. So I went up there in 2013, 14. Dude, when I first flew up, I hadn't been up there in a while, obviously, and I hadn't been to Darwin since I was a kid. So we drive out of Darwin, I'm like, oh yeah, it's cool, it's kind of what I remember. Drive out of Darwin, and just as you lose service after Humpty Doo, you get the Bark Hut Inn. Remember that one? Oh, dude, I was like, why have I not moved back here? Like, that Bark Hut Inn. If you haven't been to Bark Hut Inn, make sure you go and visit it. It is like the place to stop. It's gangster, eh? It was cool. Then we go out Jabberoo, Kales Crossing. Just the things you can do, like if you go fishing here, you're gonna get catfish, right? Yeah. But there, it's like, hey, I'll go fishing this one. Boom, barra. Yeah. Just on. Oh, we're gonna go shooting over here, no worries.
Could be a 1.30 metre barra. Could be a catfish.
Yeah, true.
But man, if you're into like fishing, hunting, just general, anything outdoors, the territory is the place, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Same as even, like, I'm a big sunset guy. Yeah. Like, for whatever reason, the afternoon, that last hour of the sunset and that's like my time of day where I'm like, yes. Yeah. And it's like that place, just with the contrast of the land, is
Anywhere in the top end, it just
Yeah.
turns it on, eh? The
Yeah.
sunsets, you just go, yeah, like this
It's
is
so good.
where I belong.
Yeah, and there's no people up there neither, so it doesn't ruin it. There's no lights, there's no like.
Nah, and very
good.
little infrastructure. It's not like there's
Yeah.
there's no light pollution because it's bugger all in terms of cities.
Yeah, 100%.
Like Darwin City is quite small.
Darwin is very small. How's the airport attached to the army base?
It's so wild. But yeah, I just love it up there, eh? So
Yeah.
as a kid, you must have had some wicked experiences. And also, like, I'm imagining some life lessons in terms of the outdoors. You mentioned being croc-wise, but it's like the snakes and the crocs and everything else. But if you grow up there, it's just normal, right?
Yeah, correct. It was like, I still remember, like, behind where our house was at Tyndall, there was like a bush section at the back fence. And me and all the other kids there would go out there and we'd just run around, and it was all like big rock formations and trees, and we'd climb up these rocks and you come across a snake or you come across a wallaby, whatever you come across, right? Animals, and we were like play, because we were all RAF kids, like, be army dudes, whatever, and we'd do that all the time, right? Run out in the bush there. Our parents didn't care. We were just off in the scrub somewhere. We'd come back when it was time to, and I mean, it was probably the size of this paddock, maybe 80 acres or something of just scrub. But there was like all roads around. And they were like, oh, they'll come back. And that's what we did, like all the time. And then, but you're not going to, I mean, you're going to laugh at this. When I was about 13, I reckon, I was riding my bike to school one day. I don't know what happened. Something clicked in my brain. And suddenly I was instantly scared of snakes.
Really?
Like out of nowhere. Like I'm talking, I was, just remember this day I'm riding my bike and I'm just pedaling along in the bush. So I'm like, was that a snake? And I just started being scared of snakes. And any time I went to the bush for years and years, I was just scared of snakes for some reason.
That's really strange.
Yeah, and then I got that workshop up there. And in the last 8 years, I've seen about 25 snakes. And I'm now no longer that scared of snakes.
Yeah, right. So should I be concerned?
Nah, it's winter, we're fine.
It's so weird, eh? Like, I've just come down from Townsville over the last week, and it's the same thing with the crocs, right? Like, everywhere we camped, people are like, oh, have you seen any crocodiles? Oh, do you think? And I'm like, just don't go in the water, man. Like,
Yeah.
like you're in a campsite, you'll be all right. Actually, you're in a caravan. Like, a crocodile hasn't figured out how to open a caravan door yet, so you'll probably be okay.
Yeah.
Just don't go swimming.
Exactly. People are weird with crocs, eh? Like I'll put, like, I mean, if I was here when the crocs are in there, my swag wouldn't be down beside the river.
Of course not.
I'll put a swag down here and go sleep. Like, but people get real weird. Like, oh my god, they're gonna like it, because they always hear about it in the media, right? And that gets them scared. Like, oh my god, I'm like,
Yeah.
they live in the water.
Like, one dude has been bitten by a croc in a swag, like, ever.
Yeah, ever. And like, if you watch Matty Wright, I mean, like, you get a bit of an understanding. They can't run that fast for that long.
Yeah.
They get lactic acid
but they
buildup.
can run really fast over short distances.
Oh, yeah,
I think
yeah.
they can do like 40 k's an hour for 30 meters or something.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like,
Yep.
you just don't want to be in that 30 metres.
Correct. You just got to run like hell, but then they get lactic acid and they're stuffed, right?
Yeah, but same.
Yeah, but I mean, probably actually me too.
Yeah, but you're like taking a knee. Yeah, just wait there, mate. I need to catch my breath. But yeah, it's funny, the perspective, right? And I think the more you're around it, the more you understand that they're not actually out to get us.
Yeah, like they're after easy feeds, right? Like, I don't know if you've seen the video the other day, that wallaby, someone was filming it, I think they were on the bank, and this wallaby, it was like there was a croc in the water. So it jumped over the croc and then it started swimming across, I don't know if it was Jardine or wherever it was, but one of them rivers starts swimming across, and the croc just did a Yui and come up behind it and grabbed it, right? That's what they're looking for.
Easy.
They're ambush predators. They're not going to come up here and run across the land and try and get you.
Trying to open a swag.
Yeah,
that
like,
sounds like a lot of hard work for
yeah,
a crocodile.
100%. Like, I mean, if they're getting your swag, it's because they probably got lost trying to come through your campsite. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that was probably an accident.
Yeah. It wasn't even like premeditated.
Yeah, because you know the amount of effort that croc's going to go to drag you back to the water.
Yeah, it's quite funny, but I wonder what it was that triggered you about snakes. Maybe you'd
I don't know.
Seen something
Like,
on TV or something.
I'm talking so scared. It could have been TV. I'm talking so scared that I could be sitting here, like this one day at the quarry I was working at. I was sitting here on the phone. And I just hung up and I'm Googling, trying to find EWP high. And just over here, there's like a hole in the shed out of the concrete. And this brown snake comes out and I'm like this, and it's right here. So everyone knows you just pause, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, fing! Gone,
really?
man. I was gone, I ran. And when I say run, I reckon I ran 50 meters. I just couldn't stop. I was like, ah! And this thing, it just like jumped up and went back down.
The snake's just like, what's that guy's
What's
problem?
wrong with that guy?
I'm
Yeah,
going
man.
back in my hole, yeah. It's so weird.
Yeah, and that's the problem. I've actually got a lot better with it now, but I'm pretty proud of myself. Now I can stand a snake. Actually, went to Stratty at the start of the year. There was this big carpet python on the road, and I was like, oh man, nearly got run over by a car coming the other way. It's quite dark. So me, of all people, jumps out of the car, goes over, grabs a little branch off the side of the road, shoos him along. Come on, buddy, let's go. And I was like me to you, waving, come on, buddy.
You've
and just
reformed.
shoot him off the road. And I was like, my missus in the car laughing, and I was like, oh, I must finally be getting good at it. She was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm not going to sit here all night. I'm going to get him off the road. I was almost going to grab it because I was like, I'm kind of, you know what I mean? Just grab his tail and drag him off the road. Because I was like, I'm not that scared now, but it's that being around them to understand them enough to be like, But if you stand on one, well, I mean, well, that's just bad.
Yeah, but if something stands on you, you probably react.
I bite it too.
Yeah. Stop biting me here. So I'm interested in your journey through your trade and then into pirate. So did you get a trade like out of school or something?
I left school they used to say I had $1 million education. Because of my ADHD, I stuffed around so much at school. My old boy was paying for feeds, and when I got to like grade 9, it's like I hit puberty. And I was like, not doing shit, so I never did homework.
Yep.
Like, I didn't do any bit of homework. I put no effort into classes, unless it was like up in Man Arts, they had woodworking, they had some metal stuff with spot welding, and they had like small mechanics and shit. I put a lot of effort into that. A lot of effort into the cooking class, of all things, just because you're hands-on, you know what I mean? Art, I tried to put a lot of effort into, but I just sucked at it. Yep. I kind of just draw a stick figure.
Same.
And so every other class I just failed, right?
Yeah.
And anyway, so then I left school in started grade 12, got an apprenticeship. I got an apprenticeship with dudes who kids went to the school. I then was running amok, hanging around the wrong people. Yeah. Got in a lot of trouble. I did some of the dumbest shit. Believe it or not, almost went to jail. I did some real stupid stuff, and then I sort of stopped hanging around those people, met my missus and stuff, stopped hanging around them, got my apprenticeship back when I was 18, I think. And then I did my trade, did it in about 3 years. And I must say, I was a shit tradesman. Like, dude, I was like, what I know now, I was like, I'm the duck's nuts, I got my trade in 3 years, I'm the man. Like, I thought I was awesome. Dude, I sucked, I was terrible. I wasn't even a good worker.
That's just every 18-year-old though.
Yeah, man.
We all think we're incredible, and then you get older and you're like, I was a jerk.
Dude, I was terrible. I still think back now, some of it just laughing. Like how, and when I deal with people now, like apprentices and stuff, I just laugh. But it's like, so I got my trade, got out, and I went into site work pretty early. So my last part of my apprenticeship, I was on a water pipeline that was from here out to the Gold Coast to the D-cell, and I did all the underground tunnels under all the rivers with them. So that was cool, man. I did underground tunnels, it was sick. And then I went over to Port Hedland. Yep. Dude, that opened my eyes. That place is wild. That, especially in 2007, I think that was. I went over there. Wild, absolutely wild. And the people I work for this company, I won't say who it was. They had a lot of like ex-cons and people that were like pretty hardened dudes,
man, yeah.
And dude, when we were talking about drinking earlier, these dudes would just come out of you get home from work drinking, and you'd have a Sunday off or something. They'd just drink outside their rooms, but they were all mates, and then they'd just punch on. And someone would be coming in on a Monday, stitches all in their head and shit, but they're all mates again. I was like, what is going on? So that was an eye-opener for me, pretty young. And I sort of worked my way through all these different jobs, doing like mining wash plants, a lot of gas projects, power stations.
So you were a boiler, is that what
you said? Sorry, I'm a Boilermaker. I missed that part, yeah. So I'm a Boilermaker by trade. I started doing pipe fitting, did a little bit of pressure welding. Then I moved into, this was a good job, I moved into rope access welding. Oh. So abseil welding. Yeah. Dude, that job was sick. But I learned another thing. You'll love this. So if you fall from 9 meters or over, they won't even put lights and sirens on, right? If you just clean fall to the ground, because it's guaranteed death. So anything above 9 meters, doesn't matter if you fall, you're right?
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
You're done, you're dead. So what I learned from this though is I could go 20, 30 meters, 50 meters, fine. Take me to 80 meters, brain can't compute, and there's no difference between 80 and 50, except for everything on the ground's smaller. Yeah. Brain can't compute, and I still did it, but
you get scared.
Yeah, you get scared, you get nervous, and and you think about it all day, driving to the job, and I was doing the cranes at Port of Brisbane here at the wharf. I think bird's nest was 87 meters. And it's probably one of the worst ways to be welding too, because they had this big brace that comes up, and then there's like an inspection plate they need to cut off, and then we had to repair a weld in there, and then we had to put this huge one back on. But it's right above you. So you're welding directly
So you're just
under it all day.
getting peppered, yeah.
And you've got ropes and synthetic harness and shit, and you're 87 meters in the air, and you're just like, oh man, like, and it all just plays in your head. But that job was probably one of the best jobs I've had.
Really?
Yeah, I've worked on wharfs and stuff, like over at Barrow Island, we're on a jetty over there, just swing, like everyone else is busting ass in the red dirt, and here we are watching sharks and fish come under us, just hanging underneath the jetty, just doing shit. Like, I wasn't even welding half the time there, just bolting things up and helping things out, rigging and whatever else. So that was a cool job. And then I went through like a big spree, sort of on that job. I went through a huge mental health problem. I think the years have been away all the time and sort of getting to me, because now I had no friends at home. I knew nobody. I barely knew my dogs. I come home, my dogs would know me, but you know, my dogs.
Yeah, they're like,
whatever,
mate. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're never home, right? And then I just went through this whole mental health thing, and at the time, just before I went through it, I started my first business. It was pretty funny. Me and a mate of mine were making fish tank stands.
Oh, yeah.
And I was breeding fish, right? Just like African cichlids and that. And I sort of got a bit of an obsession for that as well. I was like, oh, this is cool. And I was like, that's when I kind of started going, I really want to try this thing in business. And I sort of was like, oh, I'm going to do some stuff. So then me and a mate of mine were making these stands. So I was marketing and selling them, and he'd make them. If I wasn't there, I'd come home, we'd make them together. And we used to just pull all the cash together, and then we'd use that to go on Morton Island and go on holidays and just go wheeling holidays, right? And then that business was running. I decided to start a fish shop then. And the aquarium store, it was good, but something I learned very quickly about it, you need a lot of space and a lot of money.
Yep.
Never had enough money to buy enough stocks. You never keep stock on the shelves. So people would come, but then the next time they come, you didn't have what they wanted. They come back again, you didn't have it, they stop coming.
They're done, yeah.
And you're like, damn, and then you know what I mean? It's like very hard to get them back in. So I learned very quick, and that didn't work out for us and kind of fell over. But before that fell over, when I was away, I had this mental health thing while it was running. I think partly to do with that, being away and just like feeling trapped. I had a mortgage, which also made me feel super trapped. And I just went through this thing where I remember locking myself in a room at night, like waking up, looking in the mirror and just being like, fuck is wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like just always angry, man. I was so angry. And back then I was boxing as well and fighting and stuff. And but I was always so angry, and it was bad because people that I got along with could say something and just trigger me, and I just fly off the handle. So that kind of hit me, and I was like, man, I really need to do something with my life here. So what I ended up doing was shut down that aquarium store. We sold the house, sold the cars, sold everything I had, cleaned everything out, got rid of all my debt. I was left with that was very bad when I was young with money. As you know, cars. Same, yep.
You're just basically telling me my own life, like ADHD, maniac.
Yep.
From the school to the bad business decisions, the anger management problems, the everything. It's just, keep going, man. Keep telling me about myself.
And then so we sold everything, and I thought, got rid of all the debt. And I think I was left with I had 3 or 4 grand in the bank, and I had a credit card that had 10 grand on it. And I go to the missus, and we'd built a shed in the back of her parents' place. They were pretty cool. They let us build a shed there, which we lived in. So it was like a 6x9, so fitted that out. We lived in that. And then I go to missus, I was just turning 30, and I was like, oh, well, we've restarted our life. I'm like, I'm going to start a mobile welding business, go back to my trade, see how this goes. And I used that 10 grand, put this, I think it was Mates Rates Tools, put this canopy on the back, cheap as hell, got a little 10 kVA jetty. And I didn't have any caddies or anything, right? Because I was never home. Brought all these little welders and stuff, and I just started doing what I knew what to do, right? Yep. And I'm good at talking to people, so I started, at the time it was Gumtree was big, and Facebook groups and Facebook pages were easy if you did a giveaway to get people to follow you. So I just started mobile welding like that, and got this sticker printed, but I didn't have enough money to pay them to put it on, so they printed me this sticker, and it was so bad. And then I put it on and chopped it. I managed to get in the back of the canopy. People loved it and used to get me work, and then I just started you'd ring me up after a storm, oh man, my gate blew off the hinges. I'd roll out there, weld it up, $50, you know what I mean? And just started reinvesting that, and then that kind of, all the way to now, then I ended up here, you know what I mean?
So good, man.
Yeah,
but
it's pretty cool.
Just hard work, right? Just hard work.
Lots of hard work.
And I'm sure that anybody listening who's got ADHD can relate to a lot of what James was just talking about, and I definitely can, man. And the one thing that really resonated that you said was about school, because I was very lucky to have, I had the opportunity to have a very good education, which I completely squandered. But it was, if I wasn't interested in it, I just wouldn't do it. Like I was present, but I wasn't listening. I didn't learn anything. I didn't do the homework. I didn't do assignments. I get to like my HSC and I was like, I don't even know what this question is asking because I clearly wasn't in the room when this was being discussed.
Yeah.
Most of my schooling was spent in the corridor because I was just a menace. But like agriculture, business studies, design and tech, things that I was like, this is interesting. I was actually really good at them. And then when you get out of the school environment and you get to choose, it's like doing what you're actually interested in. Man, ADHD is like a superpower.
100%.
Because you can go heaps harder than everybody else. They're all sleeping and you're still like, just pinging. But it's so interesting to hear you talk about what you sort of went through in your earlier years because it's the same for so many of us, man. And I'm not surprised when so many people that I talk to who run really successful businesses go, oh, I've got ADHD. It's like, really? I never would have guessed. But it's because when you find something you're interested in, you're just hyper-focused on it. And you can just hustle harder than anyone else, right?
Yeah, 100%. You know the worst thing that we do, but I don't know if you do this as well, procrastination.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Dude.
And it's always the dumbest stuff. It's like something that will take 10 minutes, but I'll have it for 3 months where I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Because you're not interested in it.
It's insane. I'll sit there with things. So like so airlines love me.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, all right, cool, I'm going to go catch up with Toons. We're going to go down to Newcastle. And you'll tell me 10 weeks out. I'll book it 2 days out or the day before. And it's so bad that everyone around me now, like we had to go down to Adelaide the other week and I was taking one of my guys and this other guy across from us in another shed for a meeting. And anyways, they were like, have you booked it? No, 6 weeks out. Oh yeah, I'll book it today. Just kept saying, and I end up booking it 2 days before. And they just say, yeah, expect no less. They just say, yeah, he'll book it. And but it's like the littlest things.
But it's interesting because we know that it's a problem, but we still fall into that trap, right? Yeah. Like I've got little notes on my computer at home of like stuff I've got to do. And there are things that have been sitting on there for 6 months. And I know that it's like a 15-minute job, but I just can't bring myself to do that 15 minutes because I'm like, that's boring.
Yeah.
It's like, if it doesn't excite you, then you just don't do it.
But then when you do it, you get like that little dopamine hit. You're like, yeah.
Well, that's the whole thing about ADHD, right? Is it's just like a lifelong dopamine chase.
Yeah. It's bad. Like, I mean, like for us, it's just norm, right? But people talk
normal
about
people.
It. Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with you?
What? And I'm like, and I kind of, my new outlook on life is this. I'm like, we're born once, we live once, we die, right? We only have what we do in the time we're here. And I'm like, so what if we're going to chase dopamine the whole time? It's what makes us happy.
Yeah.
When I die, I'm going to die. Even if I, like, you know, some people look at, I've got Lambos, I've got this, I've got money, whatever. Doesn't mean nothing to me. I'm going to die with some of the best memories ever. I couldn't care if I was poor.
Experiences, man.
Oh, dude. It's going to be so good.
And I think that possibly comes with age as well. Because I know when I was younger, it was like, oh, I want like the big flash house and the flash cars. And now I'm like, I just want to have the best experiences. I want to say yes to cool experiences. And if that means that I'm broke, then so be it. But like, who's, you know, when you die, oh, he had a sick Lambo.
Yeah.
Mad.
Like,
as opposed to, oh man, that dude was just getting after it and having cool experiences. I know what I'd rather.
Yeah, 100%. It's like, it's one of them. I think that's what I'd like too.
That's so good. So from the mobile welding business to then, did you find a location and start to do it as a centralized business? Or what was the sort of transition from that into fabrication and then ultimately manufacturing, which is what you're doing now, right?
Yeah. So I had a lot of ups and downs. I had some good things. So it started on the Mrs. Mum's driveway. People were bringing their boats around, dude, in the front yard. I'm out there TIG welding, doing whatever, you know, I was doing like electric motor mounts in the front and little steps in the rear. And then I was like making stands, all sorts of things. And I was on a patio in the backyard. And then it was like one of the neighbours, he used to have a fabrication business and he was like 70 odd. And he goes to me, goes over the fence one day, he goes, dude, you can start at 6 a.m. if you want. I'm like, what? And he goes, oh, he told me about his business. Oh, cool. And he goes, I love nothing more than watching a young fella have a go. I'm like, oh yeah, cool, cheers, man. So I was able to start a bit earlier and no one cared. And then I worked a bit later, I was working in the night. And then I got lucky and I was taking stuff down to this powder coater. Adam from Pro Powder, he's sold his business down. I think he moved to Bali and started a business. Good dude.
Beautiful.
Yeah. But I was going down there taking powder coat stuff and he just goes to me one day, he's like, where are you making all this? I'm like, in Mrs. Mum's patio. And he's like, he starts laughing, yeah, bro. He's like, what? He goes, dude, they were in Carroll Park down here. He goes, come down. He goes, you can have this back corner here. He goes, it's not much. It was on a bit of an angle, this slab, but I didn't care. He goes, you can have that. And he's like, come here whenever you want. He goes, here's some keys. He goes, if you can just help me maintain the place, like when I need something welded, happy days. I'm like, okay. So then I had this place suddenly that was like enough to park a car that I could do stuff. And I was like, sick. I've got this little spot in Carroll Park now. And then I was able to start doing things and say, no rent neither. He was good. And I was using his forklift and then obviously powder stuff for me. So I got that leg up from him. Yep. And then what was the rest of the question again? See ADHD.
No, that's all right. Then you're like, oh, a bird.
Yeah, where we progressed to. So then from there, I then went through a stage where I brought the CNC plasma, and he got another shed and he gave me a bit more space. And then he was like, come to me, he goes, dude, you're actually growing a bit faster now. He goes, you really need to start getting your own spot. I said, yeah, fair enough. And I appreciate everything you did for me. So then I was like, cool. And I started hunting around. I was working out at Fernvale here at a spot called Zano's Concrete and Quarries. They've also sold now and it's turned into high tech or something. Yeah. And anyways, I was working out there on night shifts and that. And then one of the guys who owns it's actually his paddock run now, the neighbour. So he had that shed up for lease. So I was like, sweet. Anyway, so yeah, we moved into that shed there. He's like, have this. It's just a little spot. And then over the years, I was working for them still, doing stuff there. And I was out there doing like 11-hour night shifts. Coming back here at 3 in the morning, sleep until like 7, come out to the shed, drive out the shed, jump in there, and then I was doing from like 7 to 8 o'clock till like 1 or something in the Arvo, then going straight back out there and just
heavy
working, man,
just
working,
hustling,
getting it done. And then I had this fire pit business.
Yeah.
Collapsible fire pits, man.
And is that fair to say that was kind of the beginnings of Pirate Camp Co?
This is where the beginning started. So I had that. And this is actually a good story. So I had that, and we were doing like little shows and stuff, and showing the pits off. And they're all customizable flat pack ones, and for camping and that. So it was what I loved as well, obviously. So I was like, yes, let's do that, and that's where it kind of started. And then I went to some shows, and I was one at Gold Coast, and this is where I started noticing how rubbish 80% of people's products were. And it's like, the thing I noticed so much was like people were like, yeah, man, I'm going to make this water bottle. You're like, oh, no, this is a Yeti, but anyways, we're going to make this water bottle. Yeah, sick. But then they make it so garbage that it just sweats on the outside, and you can just put like a vacuum seal insulation in there and happy days. It works fine. Yep. It costs you a little bit more and you get a better product. But they weren't interested in that. They would rather get that and sell it to you as cheap as they can. Good enough. Yeah, good enough. Sell it to you as much as they can. Pay as little as they can for it.
And no repeat business.
Correct.
Because the person that gives you the hard-earned goes, this actually sucks, I'm not going to buy that again.
Correct.
Oh, maybe there is a reason that Yetis are so expensive.
Correct. And while they're still around, they're also passionate about their industry, right?
Yeah.
All these people I started noticing they were only here to get a quick buck. They didn't care if they were dead in 12 months. They broke in 12 months to go to the next business.
Start again, yeah.
Half the businesses you deal with are all owned by accountants. And as we know, most accountants don't actually like this stuff or use it, right? So it was a bit of a thing, and then I was like, man. So I started noticing this, and I'd actually started pulling a few products together, going, man, I could probably make something like this, something like that. And there was this, I can't say the name because it's got a patent in the end. So there was this one where it was a cool product, but it needed a filter, right? And I was like, man, I could make this so much better. And I spoke to him about it, and he just didn't care. And I was like, oh, cool. So then me and this mate of mine, so he was actually a dude, Steve, he's a good dude. I built a rear bar for him for the back of his car, and then he's like, man, I'll come to the shows if you want. So me and him started running amok, dude. We'd go to the shows, and me and Mrs. would come, and we'd just go on benders. We'd roll into the shows. Dude, the Gold Coast one, we went to the Gold Coast. I think he rocked up on the Friday morning. I set up on the Thursday, he rocked up the Friday morning. Friday night, we were staying in Surface, and we just got lit all night. We got home at like 5 in the morning. We got these, you got them bikes now, they got the electric bike.
Yeah, like the line bikes or whatever.
Yeah, but they weren't electric then, they were still the pedal thing, but you'd have to, I can't remember what they were, go bikes or something. Anyways, we jumped on one of them, we found them with like someone just ditched them, so we jumped on them. I'm riding them down the stairs, jumping them off fucking like garden beds. He's come down the stairs, hooked around the corner, and I think he grabbed the front brakes and just lost the whole front end. He's just like minced his face into the ground, broke his thumb, busted his face up. Oh, dude. I was laughing. Like, I haven't laughed that hard in ages, but I'm laughing at him. He's on the ground rolling around. My missus is like, "Oh, I think he might be hurt."
Yeah, you should probably call an ambulance.
Yeah, you should probably check on him. And he's like, "Nah, I'm good, man." And I think from memory, he had like his eye was swollen. He had a bust up on his nose and shit.
And you got to go to a show.
Yeah, and we went to the show the next morning. We rolled in at like 9:30 or something, still hungover as hell. And then we're like, "Nah, we're not going out tonight." 5 o'clock comes.
Bang. Ready to
We're on
go
it again. Let's go. And then so anyways, but me and him, so he at the time I'd done a lot of, over the years I've done a lot of like building trailers and stuff, and that was a few of the jobs I did early on. I was building deck trailers and stuff for people and toy haulers and things like that for people early on in the business when I was still at Pro Powder. Got a bit more space, so I was doing a bit of that. So then me and him were talking, and at the time it was when Patriot were kind of on the up. And then everyone was like coming out their dog shit Chinese trailers, and I'm like, man. So anyways, I was all right. So I was like, this is cool. And I used to look at Patriot stuff and just be like, man, like I'd roll every show, I'd go roll around them. I'd just roll around it because the quality of the product was
incredible,
second to none, man. I was like, to the point where you could roll under the trailer, and wherever they've done sticker for anything, right, to seal anything up, whatever, was finished perfectly. You got other people. I remember going to another one that was Australian made, and I rolled under there for a look, and someone's just wiped their fingers underneath the tray with the sticker, right? And I'm just like, what?
But still trying to charge
top dollar, right?
And that's, I will say, Justin's a mate of mine, so all bias aside though, his product's incredible. And there's a reason it's so expensive. Because the finish on those, and it's because of Justin, it's because of his, he will not accept any crap, right? Like if it's got his brand on it, it's impeccable. And
100%.
what he did back then was amazing. Like it really was.
No, it was real good. So I've ended up buying one, by the way. So I've had it for 2 or 3 years now.
That's a pretty good indication that you saw value in the product then.
100%. And it's also kind of what started Pirate as well, which is a weird one. And I don't think it's ever got out there yet, but it's not a bad story in the end. So what happened was basically, I was like, I think I'm going to build a camper or a toy hauler, right? And I was pretty interested in building a toy hauler. And then Steve, he was like an auto sparky mechanic, and he's like, yeah. So we were like, oh, maybe we'll do something together, pool our money. And I wanted to do a sick toy hauler. And I had this whole idea. So I was already doing bits and pieces like that, but it wasn't with Cruise Master, with Independent, right? And I was like, and I was very intrigued by the independent side of things, because it was only kind of new at the time. I think it had been around a little bit, but it wasn't like big, right? It wasn't mainstream. It was only new, and I was like, so I was very intrigued by it, and I was sussing it out, and I was like, we should use that. And I brought a whole bunch of gear, and anyway, so we were sitting one night at the campfire, and we were like, so basically in a nutshell, we're sitting at this campfire, having a few beers, my missus was there, me and him, and we're trying to come up with business names. And we're sitting there and we're dicking around, and my missus is like, she goes, well, it's got to be something pirate. I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, well, you want to steal everybody else's idea and make them better? She goes, you want to steal everyone else's idea and make it better? You may as well be pirate something. And I was like, well, that's a fair observation, because I mean, it wasn't like we were like coming up with some brand new toothbrush or something. Like things had already been invented. We were just like, I was just like,
you just want to do it better.
We could do this and do this way better. Now, I'm not saying we could do Patriot better at all at the time, but I was like, we could do, compared to everybody else, we could do this way better. So I was like, let's do it. And then anyways, we're sitting around, I'm like, okay, now it needs to have the name Pirate. And we were there getting drunker, and then we ended up coming up with Pirate Camp Co. And then, so we had this whole thing happening, like, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And the one thing that I learnt fast was, between us, we had enough money to build a trailer and get it to market. Didn't have enough money to market it, right? Then I also learnt that Steve and I didn't work the best together when it come to making decisions about how the trailer would work and go. I was very big on making this premium product with premium accessories, right? Like all the good red art gear, everything. Steve was more about bringing a product to the market that was better priced for people, right? And I was like, I don't want to do that. And I learned very fast that we were starting to headbutt on that. So I just went, let's stop, man. I was like, because I still value Steve. Good dude. We've been up Rainbow shit a few times since. I don't see him as much now, but very good dude, man. Still value him. But we were butting heads because we had two different opinions, and everyone knows where that goes.
Oh, you can be mates with someone, and that's great. But running a business with someone is a whole other ball game, right?
100%. And then that's where that kind of stopped in the end. And so then that was 2017, and then Pirate Camp Co got shelved. So I kept paying for the name for the registration, no one could have it. Kept the name, and I was like, I'll use that one day because it is a good name. And then fast forward, all I did was focus on building up my client list, getting as much money as I could together to buy machinery. So from that point on, I just brought machinery, and I've invested so much into it.
Yep.
Just kept buying machinery. And then the 79 happened, and then I was like, well, you know, let's reuse this name. I think this will work. And then it just...
That is so sick, man.
Yeah.
And it's for the right reasons too.
Yeah, 100%.
As you said, so many people start businesses because they're like, I want to make money. But you just wanted to make cool stuff.
Correct. And have a good time.
Yeah,
that was
man.
it. That's all I wanted. It's insane.
That's good, man. It's so good. So the collapsible fire pits, were they Pirate Camco branded?
No, they were Shep's Metalworks, my fab company.
Ah, yeah, right.
Yeah, it was just like, I was like, I'll put them under there. And I was selling a few, man. I was doing like, at the peak of it before, it was pretty problematic as well, because I was always offering custom.
Yeah.
So I'd draw you a custom logo. And I had I had like, I would have had probably 60 different customizable designs. You can still see it online now, they're all out of stock to choose from.
Don't order one.
Yeah, you won't be able to. But I had so many, and this is what taught me a lot about what I do now. I had so many customizable options that the only time I could actually make good money from it was if someone ordered 10 of the same thing. Like Wheel Pros used to come along every year, they'd come along and order like 50 of KMC and Fuel Off-Road just together, right?
Like, oh, we're making some profit finally.
Yeah, so you'd make, and I'd discount them too and make good money because you could just run 10 sheets, right? But the minute it was all these customizable logos, boom, 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 it was just, something was always different. And you're just like re-nesting and cutting files, and it was always time consuming. And I got to the point where it was good, but then I started getting more fab and construction and that wasn't profitable. But at the peak, we were doing probably four or 450 fire pits a year.
Crazy, yeah.
But only, this is my favorite part. This is what I can't figure out. I love a fire all year round. Obviously in winter I get closer to it. Nobody would buy a fire pit unless it was coming to Christmas. Otherwise, the only time they would buy them was around about any time from May when the temperature dropped. They'd start selling, and they'd sell hard through June, July, and taper off in August, September, die off, and just before Chrissy. It was like, it gets cold, everyone's like, I need a fire pit.
Yeah, man.
And I'm like, what? It was so weird. It was like, and I was like, surely people have fire pits from last year. And they're like, I got another fire pit. And it just kept going around, but I ended up turning my life and out of stock. And that's why obviously Pirate has a collapsible fire pit.
Yes.
Because that was like, I was like, we need to do one again because they're always a great market.
Yeah, and what you just described then, I recently had Josh Thorburn on, Thorburn's Fabrication.
Yep.
And we were talking about the difference, or I guess the progression between fabrication and manufacturing.
Oh.
And he's talking about like wanting to build cool stuff, but you can't do that and scale it. It's just, it's not, well, maybe it's possible, but I'm yet to see someone that's done it successfully. Like if you're doing custom work and you're fabricating stuff, it's impossible to turn it into a business because the workforce that you would need to do that, skilled workforce.
Well, I'll put it this way.
It's not profitable, right?
Nah, we sell about 8,000 products a month now, right? And the problem with that is, even if I go, okay, I'm going to give optional colors. What if I give 3 options, right? Black, pink, green.
Yeah, how do you manage that?
Now it's like, well, now I need to keep stock of each one, but how do I predict what I'm going to sell in these colors until we're moving them? Now I've got to try, and it's like, someone's like, oh yeah, I'll get a pink today, but you have no pink in stock. But then you've got to try and figure out when you're going to run pink. But you don't need many pink, you know what I mean? It's
to get this scalability and the economies of scale is impossible.
It's impossible unless you have another workshop just for that. It's virtually impossible. And I've learned, and that's what that business taught me, was with those collapsible fire pits, it taught me so much about not doing customizable work. That, and even like Steve's bar that I did for him, and he had a surf, 1UZ in it. Even that bar I did for him was not worth it because bar was sick.
Sell them, right?
Yeah, I couldn't sell it, couldn't jig it. I didn't have the skills at the time to figure out how I could even sell that to him, to anybody else. And it was like, by the time you work out all the hours, everything you put in, it was like a 10 grand bar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can't remember what I charged, maybe 2 grand or something, but whatever.
You lose money and then it's...
But it was cool. It was like he was good because it was tolerable. He was like, yeah, cool. It was there for like 6-7 weeks and I dicked around when I had time. But from a scalable manufacturing point of view, even to scale what we've done, is that where we're going with this?
Yeah.
So even to scale what we've done here, I've run into so many problems so many times, man. And it's like, the biggest one I run into is like, the first one I run into was employees, people. Dude, it's like, there's so many good people out there. But you know that saying Dana White?
Yeah.
And he's like, you see him, he's got that little thing, and he's like, man, business is a grind. Every day somebody wants to take it from you.
Yep.
Someone's out here to cut your throat, all that shit, right? He is bang on. And it's like, you don't realize that it's happening until after the fact, or when it's too late and you're like, oh, someone's doing something. I've been through this to the point where I had someone inside my business causing problems with me and my wife, you know what I mean? Because she's working there, creating this thing, but like
Tension,
saying one thing to me, saying another to her, and causing the explosions, you know what I mean? Like stealing from inside my business. I've got a very big thing on stealing, which is not worth for the camera, but it's like the stuff that was going on with that one individual almost brought me down. And then it turns out you settle it down in the wash. And what I found out was that individual was telling people openly that he wanted to, that I knew nothing about running a business and he was going to buy it out from under me, right? And I'm like, yeah, but without this passion and this drive, you don't make this.
Yeah.
And then I had another person work on their own business inside of my business, which also was destroying at the same time. So I'm thinking they're working on our business and they're just there working on their own.
Which is just another form of theft, right?
Correct, exactly. But apparently this is what it is. Apparently that's morally okay. And then I had people stealing from me. I had people steal time from me. But those things, you know, they kind of come in about with everything else. And the big one that I had was that all happened in high growth. So we experienced this growth curve, man. It was like, it almost backflipped on itself. It was so bad. And at the time I was like, look at this guy, more sales. I was just like, sales. But then comes the time we got to figure out how you're going to sell the product. So not sell it, how you're going to manufacture the product.
Yeah.
How am I going to manufacture this? And it's like, that was the biggest battle. But then it was like, all right, cool. But what I was doing over here was like, I was like, yes, more sales. We're gonna develop more products, but I wasn't thinking about how we're gonna manufacture it. And I wasn't thinking about how we're gonna manage that.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, it'll just happen and we'll make it happen. Because that's what I've always done, the ADHD thing, let's make that shit happen. So then I also burnt people out around me. But
that's a big one, because other people can't keep up, right?
Correct, and you just burn them out and then they feel like they've got to. And it's like, none of my stuff, and if you're watching, you don't have to keep up. Like, none of them need to keep up with me. That's not it. We just need to, like, don't get me wrong, I do drive and expect my staff to work at a higher level.
Of course.
But nothing like what I do, because my ADHD is out of control.
And also, you're the owner of the business.
Correct. Like, it's just
so it's like, well, I own it, so I'm going to work harder than everyone else. But you need to do your job.
Yes.
Try not to steal from me along the way would also be heaps good.
Well, the good news is nobody, as far as I know, everyone I have there now, it's very good. Nobody steals. Like, they're all there for the team. They're all there to be part of a team now. Where was I on before I got distracted then?
That was my fault.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was fucking on the... I was on the manufacturing, right? So how to...
So you're talking about driving the demand, creating more products, but not knowing how to actually scale the business to support it, right?
Correct. And I went on, I don't know if you remember, I went on that. I was doing one product every week. Then I got to 2 products a week. Let's go! And I hired like 4 designers, and wages got out of control. Designing was out of control. But then got to the point where designing was so out of control, we're ripping products, and we were just flying by the seat of our pants. Well, I was anyway. Just like, let's go, and just releasing so many products. But then we also were releasing products. Well, sorry.
Not perfect.
Not perfect, but we're getting to release, and I'd be filming them, and I'll be sitting there, and then I'll just lose it and get the shit. So this is we're not.
But then you're back to the point, which is what got you started in the first place.
Correct.
With the bonnet struts going, oh, this sucks. It doesn't work the way it's meant to. And
correct.
You've fallen into that same trap.
Yeah,
right?
100%. And I was like, man. And then I'm like, this is shit. And we didn't release some of these products, but it was like, and I've got a board full of 100 products we haven't released that we should have, and it's just like we're gonna go back to them. But what actually happened that's when it was like kind of when that started happening, I started noticing the downfall. And I was like, oh, and I started realizing we had problems. But I was in the depth of shit.
Just keep going.
I was well out of my league, right? I had no mentors, had nobody around me, because everyone always talks about mentors, right?
Yeah, I was going to ask that, yeah.
Zero. Had nobody around me I had a lot of people around me that were yes men. A lot of people around me like, yeah, I can do this, I got this. But couldn't, and made the problems worse. And when I'd be like, all right, you do that, then I'm thinking, well, they know what they're doing because I'm no idea. I might let them go, but they actually didn't, and they made the problems worse. And then it was like, I was the problem if I try to step in. I'd try to step in and say something, And in the end, when all the dust settled, I had to do the heavy lifting, right? And I had to figure out, but I had to do the ADHD thing as well, get past the procrastination and figure out what the hell was going on and how we were going to fix it.
Yeah.
And the things that I learned about manufacturing and scaling and ERP systems and that to fix the problem is like I literally have only, I won't say we've completely fixed it, but I've only just fixed the problem. Like just now, it's been a problem for 18 months. Like we were selling too much, too many products. Dude, the amount of products I was releasing, I'd need a warehouse about 100 acres big if I kept going. We gotta store it all. Like, what? Like, it's just, it's impossible to do what I was doing. It was stupid unless you have mad bulk. Mate, Adrian Patelli comes along, bungs $1 billion in. Yeah, okay, maybe, but you don't. It's just impossible what I was doing. So, you know, we're dropping some products off the line soon and whatever. But yeah, that scalability in manufacturing was a huge learning curve for me. And when I started Pirate 3.5 years ago, all I could tell you about was laser cutting. Couldn't even tell. I could tell you a bit about powder coating because I was there, but I couldn't tell you half of what I know now. Insane. It's just wild.
Man, I am so impressed with, one, your story, but also the fact that you only started this business 3.5 years ago. Because if you'd asked me, I'd be like, oh, I've been around for ages, like 10 years. Like, you've made a huge impression on the market. You're a character. You put yourself out there, which I love. But you've created a phenomenal brand in a really short space of time. So I didn't hear anywhere along the way you had any kind of business education or marketing or anything. You just done what comes naturally, right?
Just watching. My business education has come from watching other people, like
making mistakes.
And making mistakes.
Yeah.
So I used to watch. It's a weird one. Anyone with ADHD might get this more. So you can look at things and then you might watch and learn something today. 3 years later, it'll pop up in your head when you're having a problem. Oh, I remember this time. I remember seeing, and it makes sense. You know what I mean? But it's only when you've been pushed so far, you feel like it's over, and then it comes back.
But then someone asks you what they said to you 15 minutes ago, and you go, I've got no idea.
Nah, zilch. Yeah. It's weird as hell. But some of the things I learned with it is like, so a good example is I used to watch, when I started Pirate, I used to watch, at the time, right, influencers. They had this huge market in Australia of people, but they weren't capitalizing. None of them were like TJ and Mac, they just started Shed Life. I think Shed Life was going and No Wasted Weekends, but it kind of wasn't, it wasn't really like, it's not like it is now, right? It was just like a couple of shirts, whatever. Yep. And I was like, none of these guys are really capitalizing on their brand. They're getting sponsors, but none of them were capitalizing on what they're doing with their numbers right at the time, which move forward to now, you can see where some of them were actually working on it, but getting it up. But none of them were really doing it. I was like, well, if I can take what they're doing and then take what old mate over here is doing in business and bring the two together, I can create this epic brand. Problem was, I didn't know anything else. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to do this and see if it works. People might like me, they might hate me. And then I also, now what I've been doing is like, we've got that BCF contract in place now and a few other...
Congratulations.
Thanks, bro, thanks. A few other retailers as well now coming on, a few things in the works. But something I've learnt, there's a guy, Muscle Nation?
Yes.
So Muscle Nation, I can't remember the guy's name, I think it's Nathan something. I've been following him on Instagram lately and I've learnt some very valuable things which has intrigued me more. So it's like, they got into Woolworths, right? He was saying the other day, there was a reel I seen him put up and he was like, I got into Woolworths and I was like, what else can we do? We got into one line. He goes, every aisle in Woolworths is its own category with its own category manager and team.
Yep.
He's like, so I'm dealing with this guy and this cat in aisle 9, for example. So I'm just dealing with him, so I only get to put stuff in aisle 9. How do I get in the rest of these? And he started developing products to try and get into every aisle, every category of Woolworths. And I'm like, that's insane. But I seen that like 5 months ago. But then now that we've done the BCF thing, I was like, well, hang on a minute. What else can I get in here? What else can I design and create to fill up in more spots in a BCF store and other stores? And now that's the whole motion that we've been moving forward on, is because something else I learned as well. 20 to 30% of people only shop online. The rest walk in store still. Yeah, man. I've been everyone's online, and it ain't the case. No. And I've only learned that a month ago.
There you go.
Insane.
Man, it's so good, but you haven't had any coaching, you haven't had any training, you haven't had any like formal qualifications, so of course you don't know everything. You figure it out as you go along and you solve problems as they arise, and I love it, man. I think it's fantastic. Sick. And yeah, it's really impressive, and I really appreciate you being so candid, like just telling it how it is, man. It's refreshing.
It's me, man. It's me.
I really appreciate it, man. And I'm just excited to see where Pirate Camco turns up next, because the BCF thing's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
From your mother-in-law's patio to now being ranged in arguably one of the biggest retailers in the country. It's
yeah.
pretty impressive, man.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's exciting. It's far bigger and more than I thought it'd ever be.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's good. It's exciting.
Good. Well, thank you
Legend,
very
thanks
much,
for having
mate.
me.
It's getting cold.
Oh no,
and
I'm
we're running out of
shivering.
light here. We're sitting in the dark. So for anyone that's
Oh.
still listening to us two rabbit on, apologies for the poor image quality, but I think they're used to that from me by now.
Yeah, and probably me too at times.
That's fine. Well, thanks again, man.
Well,
Appreciate
good man.
it.
Thanks for having us.
And we'll see all of you next time on the outer side.